looking at the Palace in Mishawaka. The state tournament is 3 weeks away, but we've got a tourney atmosphere here in Mishawaka tonight. A pair of top 5 teams collide in the NIC. Number 5, South Bend, Washington visits number 2, Penn on this edition of the 46th game of the week. And how you doing, everybody, with the Hall of Famer Bo Hunt and Craig Heatherly courtside. It's Chuck Freebie. Great to have you with us. And where else would you rather be on a Friday night than here with TV 46? The Washington Panthers come in, as we mentioned, ranked number 5 in Class 3A. They're 14-3 on the season. But, Bo, they seem to be a little bit of a Rodney Dangerfield. They don't get a whole lot of respect.
Well, I think that's one of the things. Early this season, they had a pretty big upset against John Glenn. And ever since then, they've really come together. And I think one of the biggest things is their senior leadership, and the guys that have come back from last year really stepped it up and said, hey, we're a lot better than this. We didn't make our best performance that night, and we need to show everybody how well we can play.
Penn is number 2 in Class 4A. They're only lost to number 1, Ben Davis. They have steamrolled through a good Northern Indiana Conference. And oh, by the way, they've got a guy that could be Mr. Basketball in Marcus Burton, but he's getting a whole lot of help these days.
Yeah, when you look at a team effort, this is a team effort out there. They got size, they have length, they have the ability to shoot the three, they have the ability to get putbacks all day long. And yes, they got Marcus Burton, who's going to score all day long. But I think the biggest thing with this team is they play team defense, and defense wins championship, and that's what Penn does.
And you have to play defense against them. So we bring in Craig Heatherly. And Craig, you did some coaching at the college level. There are 2 schools of thought on Marcus Burton. One is let him get his and shut everybody else down. The other is try to find a way to control him. Which one do you subscribe to?
He's a player that keeps opposing coaches up all night. You've got to pick your poison, as you mentioned. The type of medicine I'm serving my team tonight is to make Marcus Burton score the ball from the three-point line, make 10 threes, make 12 threes, whatever it takes, but limit the other guys, limit the supporting cast. But again, it's easier said than done with a player like Marcus Burton.
And Washington's got their own pretty good Marcus and Marcus Northern, so which one will leave their Marcus on this game? Northern or Burton? A lot to talk about with the St. Joe County Police Department pregame show and the Jordan Automotive Keys to Win, and it all comes your way next on the 46th game of the week.
This is the WHME TV 46 High School Basketball Game of the Week. Brought to you by Bill's Heating, Health Markets, Tony Letcher, St. Joseph County Police Department, Martin's Supermarkets, Interra Credit Union, HealthLink, Jordan Automotive Group, TCU, Electrical Workers, Crown Trophy, St. Andrews Products, Imagineering Finishing Technologies, and the IHSAA.
And this edition of the 46th game of the week being brought to you by the Jordan Automotive Group. Simple, easy, stress-free. Welcome inside the Palace as we get you ready for this top 5 showdown between South Bend, Washington, and Penn. It's time now to look at our keys to win on the St. Joe County Police Department pregame show. And those are keys brought to you by the Jordan Auto Group. For the South Bend, Washington Panthers, their leading scorer, and quite frankly, the leader of this whole team is Marcus Northern, the 6'2 senior. Is scoring over 16 points a game, gets almost 5 rebounds a game as well. He went over 1,000 career points recently, and the 4-year varsity player has been a sniper from three-point range, hitting 45%. And he gets some help out there from Stephen Reynolds, the 6'4 freshman. Yeah, part of that Reynolds family, known better for the girls basketball team. But Stephen had a career-high 42 against Jimtown. As a freshman, he leads the state of Indiana with 49 three-pointers. That's among the freshman class. The keys to win for Ryan Varga and the Washington Panthers.
The keys to win tonight for the Panthers, they need to make sure they keep Burton from driving. That's the dribble drive. He not only scores from there, but he also gets to the free throw line from there as well, where he's shooting almost 90%. They need to control the Joes. That's Joey Garwood and Joey Smith on the outside. They need to make sure they get a hand in the face, and they need to get on the glass, get a body on somebody, and get on the glass. Coach Varga has confidence in playing a high-ranked team.
I don't know if it gives us confidence. I know it can be done, so it gives them some hope there and some faith in that mindset, but we know that they're a very good, well-coached team, and at any given night, things can happen. So, we're going to come out and give it our best shot and play hard and see what happens.
Meanwhile, the guy that most of these people have come to see is the leader of the Penn Kingsmen. I'm not talking about Al Rhodes. I'm talking about Marcus Burton, the state's leading scorer at 29.3 points a game. The 6'1 senior guard committed to go play at the University of Notre Dame is number 4 on the all-time St. Joe County scoring list. By the end of the night, he could be number 2. But he's getting a lot of help these days from Joey Garwood, who went off against John Glenn this year. He had 8 3-pointers in that game. Garwood has suddenly seen his 3-point shooting percentage surge to 46%. And if he's dialed in from beyond the arc, look out. The keys to win for the veteran Al Rhodes and the Kingsmen.
The Kingsmen need to win that rebounding battle. They need to get bodies on people, get those putbacks on the offensive side. They like to stop that dribble penetration. Washington likes to do that with a multitude of guys. They need to make sure they stop that and attack the press. Coach Rhodes believes that Washington's going to press them tonight, and they need to make sure they attack it all night long. Here's Coach Rhodes on what his team has improved on the year.
Well, I've been very proud of the team in terms of trying to improve in the areas that we set out at the start of the year. I didn't know how we'd do as a rebounding team, and we've done an excellent job all year, especially on the offensive board. There was only 2 games where we didn't do a good job, so very pleased that way. Our half-court defense has been good, and you know, our transition offense has also been very good. You know, we're scoring more points than anybody in Indiana, led by Marcus and Joe Smith. They distribute the ball so well, and you know, that's been a really good thing. I think we still have to improve our half-court defense in terms of zones and traps, and it would be nice to develop a consistent press. We haven't been able to do that yet.
And yet somehow they're still 18-1 and ranked number 2 in Class 4A. Should be a lot of fun here tonight as NIC rivals Washington and Penn collide. Those have been the Jordan Automotive keys to win. The starting lineups and the opening tip-off come your way next on 46. And this edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you in part by Intera Credit Union. Excellence, integrity, and invested. Boy, we've had some great national anthems the last 2 Friday nights, and we had a beautiful one tonight from Penn girls basketball assistant coach Hassan Abdullah. And that has set the stage to turn out the lights and do the starting lineups. Here's Bo Hunt.
Well, first off for the South Bend Washington Panthers, sponsored by the South Bend Washington Athletics. Might be the best freshman in the state, the 6'4 freshman Stephen Reynolds. Marcus Northern, he's at just over 1,000 career points. He's 6'2 senior. Tyshawn Grundy, he leads the team with 81 assists. Terrence Reed, he's wearing 0 tonight. He leads the team with 48 steals. And Jason Dockery, we added a little size to the lineup for Coach Varga's team tonight. New in the starting lineup. And for the Penn Kingsmen, as they get ready to announce their starting lineup, sponsored by Klein Custom Homes. Joey Garwood shooting 46% from the 3-point range tonight. Marcus Burton leads the state in scoring. He's 4th in the county. He has a career high 44. He could score 50 tonight. Joe Smith shooting 37% from the 3-point range, and he's the lockdown defender that they're looking for. Josh Gatete, boy, what a performance he put on Channel 46 last time we had him on. He leads the team with 20 blocks. And Dylan Durda leads the team with 51 offensive rebounds. Yes, I said offensive rebounds. That's Dylan Durda.
So as they play the Alan Parsons Project, just like they used to do at the old Chicago Stadium, let's check out the series history. The Kingsmen lead this series that goes all the way back to 1959 by a count of 40-34. And just as close as the series was the game last year, one that we did on TV 46, where Penn had to rally in the second half to beat Washington 69-63 almost a year ago today. The officials for tonight's game, and a reminder, the IHSA always looking for more officials, but we've got a veteran crew here tonight. Tim Holmes working with Tim Mills, and the youngster is Luis Roldan out of the region. And there you see Marcus Burton, the state's leading scorer, committed to play at Notre Dame. And this place, despite the fact that the lights are out right now, can best be described as electric.
Yeah, definitely. And as the lights come back on, so you guys can all see the uniforms out there. Here's a check on the uniforms for this game, brought to you by St. Andrews Products, the home team, the Penn Kingsmen. They're wearing the white jersey and shorts, the black numbers and gold trim. The visiting team, the South Bend Washington Panthers, wearing the green jerseys and shorts, black numbers and letters, and the white trim. These teams look great, and so can your team. For the finest in apparel and promotional products, contact St. Andrews Products at sales@standrewscorp.com. As we get ready to tonight's opening tip, which is sponsored by Clover Machinery Movers, here's the Hall of Famer himself, Chuck Freebie.
Josh Gatete and the Penn Kingsmen control the opening tip. They are 18-1 on the year. Their best win came over the Marion Knights in this gym 3 weeks ago. Joey Garwood with the basketball right now. The only loss for the Kingsmen this season at the hands of #1 Ben Davis in the Hall of Fame tournament, and a foul immediately called on South Bend Washington. It'll go against number 0, Terrence Reed. Reed sometimes wears 24. Tonight he's wearing 0. He gets the first foul of the night. Penn to inbound from the side, Garwood. And now Joe Smith, who says Penn needs to cycle through a new play. Joey Garwood has been red hot from outside lately, trying to get some room against the lanky Stephen Reynolds. Man-to-man for the Panthers in this first set.
Wondering what Panthers were going to go to here again on defense, and they go up that man up, slacking inside to help backside.
Joe Smith with a good head and shoulder fake to get the first basket of the game. Smith, the senior, averages 10 a contest. Washington is 14-3, 7-2 in the NIC. Their best win at Lake Central on opening night. The three teams that beat them 42-13, and Terrence Reed explodes to the hoop to tie the game at 2. Burton for 3. It's offline. The offensive rebound will go to Penn. There you see the veteran Al Rhodes in his 42nd season at the helm of the Kingsmen. 683 wins. He has coached over 1,000 games in high school. Burton on the wing connects. Marcus Burton with his first 2 of the night, and Penn back out on top.
Yeah, Penn able to get that second chance opportunity, and Burton made him pay right there.
Tyshawn Grundy gives it off to Stephen Reynolds, the freshman. Here's Marcus Northern. Leader of this team, Josh Gatete, draws the defensive assignment on Washington's leading scorer. Grundy to Reynolds. Garwood will try to guard him right now. Reynolds takes Garwood to the hole and scores.
That's why he's the leading scorer in the state as a freshman, because his ability to make moves like that is 6'4", very athletic.
Burton, no push-off called, but the shot goes awry, and then Gatete goes over the back of Marcus Northern.
One negative about Gatete, he does get in some foul trouble every once in a while. And that's one thing they got to watch out for.
A lot of the Washington folks wanted a push-off foul against Marcus Northern, and they may have had a case. But as it turns out, Washington gets the ball back with a chance to take the lead. Here's Reynolds outside. Great move on Dockery, then he travels.
Barnaby's Pizza in Mishawaka on Grape Road in Granger. And now the new Twin Branch location, where you'll always find delicious pizza and a relaxed family atmosphere. Order online at MishawakaBarnabys.com. And we'd like to thank the Barnaby's Pizza in Twin Branch for feeding the production crew with great pizza.
Burton dumps it off for Dylan Durda, but he missed the layup. The rebound tipped out to Joe Smith. Burton through the lane, jackknives can't hit. Durda with a putback, it won't go, and Washington finally comes down with a carry. The Kingsmen ice cold early. Northern charges. The first on Marcus Northern, and the second on the Washington Panthers. Replay brought to you by R&B Car Company.
Yeah, very interesting conversation we had before the game about how physical this game was going to be and how it was going to be called.
Burton slides, and what was called? Travel. I say that because the Penn student body is up between us and about a quarter of the court on the near side.
Which is great. All the students being here, the fans, they're starting to pack in a lot more than what we thought tonight.
No complaints from here. Tyshawn Grundy brings it across for Washington. Grundy with that strong body trying to drive on Burton. Reynolds, Garwood all over him. Here's Marcus Northern. Washington playing at a much slower pace than we're used to seeing the Panthers go at. Part of the credit of that to Penn's defense. Dockery lost the handle, knocked out of bounds by Grundy, and Penn forces the third Washington turnover.
The Penn Boosters root for Kingsman's success in this game and all season, supporting all Penn extracurricular activities. For a $10 donation, you too can show your Penn spirit. Last year, the Penn Boosters awarded $59,000 for academic clubs and teams. Follow them on Facebook or go to thepennboosters.org.
Burton splits the defenders, dumps it in the corner for Garwood. The three on the right. And the three-pointer sponsored by Hardware Plus. Joey Garwood has really heated up as of late from three-point range. He has now hit 13 of his last 18 beyond the arc. Reynolds working on Garwood again. Likes that matchup. Couldn't roll it in, though, and Durda controls the carom. That's the first missed shot for Washington tonight. Their problem has been turnovers. Burton driving on Grundy. Again, Garwood for three. Bring it up.
One guy you cannot let get hot from the outside, shooting over 46% on the season from the three-point range. Joey Garwood, just an excellent shooter from the outside.
It's really been a point of emphasis for the Penn offense since the John Glenn game. Getting Garwood involved and engaged, and boy, has it paid off as of late, and especially early in this game. Terrence Reed defended well. Joe Smith the rebound. Penn looking to go up by 8 or 9. Gatete missed the layup, gets his own rebound and misses again. Dive for the loose ball. Bodies hit the floor. It'll go to Washington.
Just the size advantage Penn has with Gatete and Durda, both 6'8", whereas you look at Washington with only 6'3" guys.
Penn will take a timeout. It's sponsored by the Penn Boosters. 2:56 to go in the first. Penn leads at 10-4 on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you in part by Bill's Heating, keeping families and businesses comfortable since 1951.
Klein Custom Homes in Michiana's premier home builder. Come visit one of our exclusive neighborhoods or let Klein Custom Homes build on your property anywhere in Michiana. For more info, visit us at KleinCustomHomes.com.
Factoids brought to you by Anderson, Agostino, and Kettler. And the NIC standings give you a little bit of the picture here tonight. If Penn wins this, they clinch at least a share of the NIC. They still have Elkhart on the road in conference play.
Big shout out to Barnaby's Pizza in Mishawaka, Granger, and Twin Branch. They're our first quarter sponsor and fed our crew tonight.
Tim Mills down there talking to both Stephen Reynolds and Joey Garwood with basically an edict of knock it off, just play. Nice cut by Dockery. Gatete sends that back. Burton, Garwood in the corner. Good transition defense by Washington, but Burton with the bucket in the box. You'll get another look from R&B Car Company. And Marcus Burton fouled by Reynolds after the shot, and he'll go to the line where he's an 88% foul shooter, taking free throws, sponsored by Klein Custom Homes. Burton came into the game with 19-22 career points. He has 5. He needs 13 to pass Demetrius Jackson for third on the all-time county list. Grundy had it knocked away, but that allows him to shuffle and find Reed underneath for 2. Terrence Reed off to a good start offensively. He has 4, averages 9 a contest.
I really like the way Washington's able to get it inside and really work it inside, especially with the big trees that Penn has underneath.
Burton again. Couldn't rattle that one home, and here come the Panthers on the run with Marcus Northern. Over Burton for 2. That was pretty. Penn has suffered through a cold shooting first quarter, except beyond the arc, where they are 3 of 4, and a timeout whistled briefly so they can straighten out the net.
Hardware Plus is a proud supporter of high school sports and has been Osceola's favorite local hardware store for nearly a century, featuring a wide selection of products and customer service experts. Hardware Plus, where service begins with the words, "How can I help you?" and a handshake.
Eric Nocentelli checks into the lineup. He has the ball now for Washington as Penn shows full court pressure. Garwood and Smith, the supporting guards, really carrying Penn's offense in the early going. Marcus Northern from the foul line couldn't get it to go, and Durda another rebound as Penn dominates the glass. Burton with a spinorama, running over people, and a block is called on Dockery.
Didn't think the first one was at all. That was a good no call. Second one, they had to call something, and a little surprised they called the blocking after that first one.
And Marcus Burton will take free throw sponsored by Klein Custom Homeschool. Let's check out the R&B Car Company replay. I thought he was set, but tough call. Here's Burton at the line. He's got 6 tonight.
Clover Machinery Movers is proud to support Kingsman Athletics for over 65 years. Clover Machinery Movers has been providing professional and reliable machinery moving. When you need your project done right, on time, and on budget, contact the experts at Clover Machinery Movers.
The Penn backcourt with all 18 points here in the first quarter. Northern bumped by Gatete, and Marcus Northern will go to the line for 2. Northern, an 80% foul shooter. 4-year varsity player at South Bend, Washington, with a 3.3 GPA. And he buries the first. As you see Penn go to the bench for the first time, Gatete will check out with 2 fouls, and Dominic Bonner will come in. The 6'3 junior averages 5 points a game. Played well in the last game we did here.
4 Coverings Internationals of Michiana cheers for the Kingman. Whether you're looking for tile, carpet, hardwood, or luxury vinyl, they can help transform your home into your dream home. Visit Michiana.flooringcoveringsinternational.com.
Penn with an 8-point lead, taking its time as we go under a minute to go here in the first. Burton flashes outside for 3. The Kingsmen are 4 of 5 outside the arc, and Burton has a cool 10 here in the first. What a perimeter display by Penn. Northern, as Washington appears to want to hold for the last shot, even though they're down by 11.
Yeah, I mean, the way Penn's shooting it, I guess they just need to hold it down a little bit, try to get a reset here, not let them get any more of a bigger lead going into the second quarter.
Northern working over Bonner for 3. The bank not open on a Friday night. Burton saved it to Durda. They can hurry and get a shot. Joe Smith won't get that one to go, but that's about the only thing that went wrong for Penn in that first quarter. Offense on display. Terrence Reed tried to help Washington, but too many weapons for the Kingsmen. Joey Garwood dialed long distance, and then Marcus Burton with the bucket in the bump, and the Kingsmen lead it by 11 as we go to the second on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you in part by the St. Joseph County Police Department. Join the team, help protect and serve our community. Guys serving us with a Bills Heating courtside report is Craig Heatherly. Your thoughts on that first quarter?
Yeah, as a coach, you try and implement your style of play on the offensive end and the defensive end. You are seeing the Kingsmen's offensive style of play at its finest right now. All of their weapons are impacting the game. Obviously, you've got Garwood, you've got Burton, you've got Smith that are making, but then you've got the bigs that are flying to the glass I'll tell you what, the Washington Panthers, they've got their hands full right now as a coach. I can see Coach Varga challenging his players. You've got to just play harder.
And our second quarter tonight being brought to you by Barnaby's Pizza from Mishawaka, Granger, and Twin Branch.
Imagineering Finishing Technologies brand is globally known as the knowledge source for metal finishing. Like the teams in this game, Imagineering is always working toward a great finish. IFT is proud to support all student athletes.
Jason Dockery trying to back his man in, went over Joe Smith but couldn't connect, and Burton gets the rebound this time. Burton gliding up the court. He made the 10 points in the first quarter just look effortless.
His ability to make that, and you know, when good players are out there, we've seen it quite often. Good players score 30, 40 points. A lot of times it's very quiet.
It's 360, well defended by Reed that time, and Reynolds with the rebound. There's Terrence Reed. A couple of buckets early in this one. Northern taken away by Burton. Here's Bonner. 2-on-1 for the Kingsmen. Bonner lost the handle, but a foul is called on Eric Nocentelli.
Bonner, one of those subs, guys off the bench, one of the first guys, gives them a lot of energy, gives them a lot of aggressiveness on the glass. Just a great guy getting in there, and a guy that can handle the ball and take to the rim like he did right there.
Free throw called, sponsored, by Klein Custom Homes. Bonner, only a 49% foul shooter on the year. The wide receiver on the football team hits the first.
Ivy Tech's dual credit and dual enrollment programs can be free of low cost depending on the student's chosen path. Start exploring Ivy Tech's high school opportunities to find one that's right for you. Find out more at facebook.com/IvyTechSBE.
Dominic buries both of them. Penn 5 out of 5 from the line so far tonight, too. And the Kingsmen lead it by 13. But remember, Washington in that game that got postponed against Riley was down by 17 after one, came back to make it a 2-point game at halftime. They can be explosive. Granted, I'm not sure Riley plays defense the caliber that Penn does right now. Ball knocked away and stolen by Bonner. But coming right back, a battle for the loose ball, and what's going to be called here? Tim Mills stepping in.
I thought he was going to call it on Reed, but at the end of the play, yeah, they are.
Ryan Varga upset in front of the Washington bench. They may have just gone with the decision to make that a held ball call, and the alternating possession goes to Penn. And that's probably what should have been called all along.
Yeah.
But nobody on that Washington bench, including that guy, Ryan Varga, too happy with how things have gone in the early going here. And the officials trying to give everybody a little bit of a chance to just settle down here and make sure things are settled with the scorer's table. So it was a held ball call, alternating possession to Penn. Joe Smith on the dribble, now Joey Garwood. And there's Burton. Between the legs dribbles, spinning, traveling.
Yeah, that was a great spin move, but then he took the LeBron extra couple steps there, you know? Couple more years to be able to take those couple extra steps. Just not quite yet, Marcus.
Not if John Gaffney's working the game, but that's another story. Here's Marcus Northern down the lane, and he's fouled, going to the basket. We'll see if he's credited with active shooting or not. The foul is called on Joe Smith, and it was on the floor, so Washington will have to inbound, trailing by 13. Terrence Reed off the inbounds pass. Backing down Bonner. Couldn't hit. Durda another rebound. Durda has done a nice job on the boards tonight. Joe Smith for three. A little short. Tipped around, and Burton will chase it down.
Yeah, Durda's down here. Got hit in the head. Still just now coming down to the half court.
He's holding his face like he could be bleeding. Meanwhile, Burton misses, and Washington with the rebound. Here's Northern for three. That's untrue. Rebound Dockery, but we got a whistle and a Violation called against Washington.
Yeah, 3-second violation. They were calling that. It was just sitting in there, dirt off the side. Looked like he got an elbow in the head, side of the head in the last series now.
Oh, they just called Tyshawn Grundy for a shove there. And so Grundy is called for his first foul and the 6th on the Panthers. So Penn will be going 1 in the bonus the rest of the first half. Smith with the left hand. Burton walked again. 3rd turnover on the Kingsmen.
Yeah, just a little bit of extra steps there. A new year means new beginnings. So isn't it time to work for a company where employees are the most valuable asset? Hey, well, now's your chance because Rushcore in Bristol is hiring. Production positions available in a team-driven environment with excellent benefits that include medical, dental, and a 401k. To learn more about joining the Rushcore family, visit rushcore.com. That's RESCHCOR.com.
Now Burton called for a foul. Tyshawn Grundy kind of giving it to him verbally, and Burton pointing to the scoreboard. Now Rhodes has seen enough to know he needs a timeout. 5:25 to go first half. Penn leads at 23-10. The timeout sponsored by the Penn Boosters here on the 46th game of the week. This edition of the 46th game of the week being brought to you by Imagineering Finishing Technologies, IFT, where quality is a way of life. Way of life for the Penn Kingsmen is to see that young man wear number 3 score points. He started the night at 19:22. He has 10 tonight, so he is at 19:32. 2 behind Demetrius Jackson, 17 behind Demezy Anderson. Hey, if he went off for 75 tonight, he'd catch J.R. Konechny. He will by the end of the season. Eric Nocentelli and Washington trail by 13 as we resume action in the second quarter. Dockery misses. Reed is fouled on the way up, and Terrence Reed will go to the line for 2 for the Panthers.
Just a great job by the Panthers really attacking that baseline. Here you can see the R&B company replay. And I saw the Penn coaches, assistant coaches get up off the bench pretty upset that they did not close that baseline off, because that must have been something that they talked about. So as soon as it happened, they were off the bench, and it looked like they were like, that's exactly what I told you not to do.
Terrence Reed, 4-year varsity player, 53% foul shooter, young man who helped deliver toys and bears to kids at Beacon Hospital. Leads the team in steals, but misses on his first trip to the line.
Martin's Supermarkets, groceries to go, annual subscriptions are now available. They're just $29.99 for the year. You get ad pricing, digital coupons, recipes directly from your account. Learn more at martinsgroceriestogo.com.
Reed with 5, but Penn still up by 12 as Burton comes across the stripe. Double team from Washington and the steal by Northern. He'll lay it up for 2. Marcus with 6. Burton behind the back. Foul line jumper is pure. He is now tied with Demetrius Jackson for number 4 on the St. Joe County scoring list. Northern stripped by Burton. Burton on the break. Splits the defense and goes to the line for 2, sponsored by Klein Custom Homes.
What a better way to pass Demetrius Jackson than at the free throw line. The way Burton is able to do that, shooting almost 90% of the year. Kids at home, that's a lot of his points on the year. Week in and week out, night in and night out. He scores a lot of his points at that free throw line.
Grundy called for the foul for Washington. 88% free throw shooter. And there it is, his 13th point of the night. He's now at 1935 for his career. And only 2 stand in front of him in the county, J.R. Konechny and Demezy Anderson. Burton, who also leads the team in assists and steals, hits them both. Penn 7 of 7 at the stripe tonight. And they lead by 2 touchdowns. Nice spin move by Nocentelli, and Eric gets his first basket of the game for the Panthers. The transfer from Elkhart connected. Joe Smith takes it back outside for Burton. Burton working on Terrence Reed. That's Smith for three. It's short, and the rebound controlled by Washington. Northern shed Burton. Nocentelli decided not to take the three. Here's Reed inside. Reynolds from the wing. Rattled out, and Penn gets the rebound.
Reynolds hasn't had a shot, hasn't really touched the ball in their offense recently. It's his first shot in a while.
And Penn lost it out of bounds. Washington will get it back.
Here to protect and serve our community, St. Joe County Police Department is hiring immediately. Employment opportunities for high school graduates are available, and they offer a host of benefits and a true family environment on their team. Learn more at sjcindiana.com/employment.
Washington trying to get back in this, down 12. Nocentelli found Dockery going to the basket, and he goes up over Durda for two. Jason Dockery, the 6'3" senior, with his first basket of the game. Washington now back within 10, making a run. Burton trying to end that, and does. 16 for Marcus. Here come the Panthers the other way. Nocentelli working on Bonner. Has it taken away by Garwood. Reynolds back on defense. Reynolds blocked the shot. Nope, called for the foul.
Yeah, it looked like he got a little body there, but a good job by Garwood really going into the body with himself. Here you can see on the R&B Car Company replay. Goes in, yeah, got a little body on that.
Joey Garwood, an 81% foul shooter on the season. Career high 27 against John Glenn. That's his 7th point of the night. He averages 12 a game. Free throw sponsored by Klein Custom Homes.
Ivy Tech's dual credit and dual enrollment programs let students begin earning college credit while still in high school. High school students can earn a certificate to head straight into a high-wage, high-demand career immediately after graduation. That's Ivy Tech Community College, South Bend, Elkhart.
Reynolds for three, and Joe Smith the rebound. Washington has yet to hit a three-pointer. Penn is buried 4. And they all came in the first quarter. Burton to Durda, but a foul, a charge called on Marcus Burton, and Ryan Varga did a celebratory dance in front of the Washington bench as Burton is called for his second. You get another look from R&B Car Company. And indeed, the Washington player had position.
Yep, definitely had position underneath right there. Did a great job of setting his feet. Burton got right over the top of it.
Burton not happy with the call. He'll go to the bench. Mookie Ward Pouncey checks in for Penn. Transfer from Mishawaka. There's Mookie. As they have some perspiration down on the court, so the officiating crew making sure that gets cleaned up. I'll give it to Ryan Varga's dad, who's sitting there over there on the bench. There you see Al Rhodes, the Indiana Basketball Hall of Famer, in his 15th year with the Kingsmen, 42nd overall. 1970 Penn grad, so people at home doing the math. Yeah, he's right about that age. Yep. And guess what? He is the first Penn alum to be the Penn basketball coach.
Yep, and it wasn't that long ago, not that long ago, that he was down at Warsaw. When I was in high school, I played against him when he was a coach. Wasn't that long ago.
So the foul called on Mookie Ward Pouncey, and it'll send Eric Nocentelli, a 45% foul shooter, to the line for the Panthers. Trying to cut into a 14-point Penn lead. Nose hits the first. He has 3 tonight. Penn will send Burton back in for the last 2-11. Bit of a calculated gamble here with 2 fouls.
I think it's one of those things where you put Marcus back in. You think, you know that he's confident enough to stay out of foul trouble. Even if he does pick up a 3rd foul, he can take it easy in the second half.
Rebound to Bonner. Penn with about a 2-1 margin on the boards tonight. That's another reason they're up in this game. Burton guarded by Terrence Reed. Right over Reed for 2. Marcus now with 18 in the first half. Here's Marcus Northern for Washington. Nice little hook shot in for 2. Northern with 8. That's half of his average. But you can't trade baskets. If you're Washington, at some point you got to get some stops.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing between these two teams right now is Penn's ability to play defense the way they do and get stops. Washington just isn't.
Ball was knocked away. Terrence Reed thought it went out of bounds off Burton, but it's awarded to Penn. 91 seconds left before halftime. Halftime when you'll meet our Tony Letcher Health Market Student Athletes of the Week, plus halftime highlights and stats. Reed and Burton getting into it verbally, and Al Rhodes says, go to the other side of the floor, see if he follows you. And the officials are going to talk things over here. I don't know if Marcus Burton, maybe he's got a spot of blood on his uniform here. And it was pointed out by Terrence Reed to the official, and that's why Burton has to leave the floor.
Well, speaking about health, well, tonight's health tip is brought to you by HealthLink. Healthy kids are better students and better athletes. Schedule your child's annual checkup at HealthLink today. HealthLink offers medical, dental, vision, and more, regardless of your ability to pay.
Garwood for three. Wouldn't go that time, and Reed the rebound. Meanwhile, a lot of contact and the charge called on Terrence Reed. Joe Smith, who is adroit at picking up the charge, took 16 of them last year, and he'll stand in and take this one from Reed to get the ball back for Penn.
Just had his momentum going all the way through. Smith with a great job of understanding that situation.
2 fouls now on Terrence Reed as you look at Ryan Varga. His 6th year as the Washington coach, the Clay and Valpo alum who played for Joe Huppenthal, the nephew of Tom DeBates, former assistant to Chad Johnston. I mean, he's got all kinds of connections to South Bend coaching royalty.
Yeah, he just feels really comfortable over there as well at Washington. Really loves the program, really has bought into it, and really enjoys the kids in the South Bend, Washington West Side community.
Meanwhile, Burton got patched up on the sidelines. He's back in. Mookie Ward-Pouncey takes a seat on the bench. And here's Burton with the ball. Penn came in averaging 76 points a game. Washington has held them a little bit below that pace here in the first half, but not by much. Dylan Durda on the outside to Marcus Burton. Burton guarded by Marcus Northern. Found a seam and went right down the middle of the lane for two. That is something Ryan Varga told his team cannot happen at practice the other day. Well, it's happening a lot tonight.
Well, it's something you can't really duplicate in practice, and you can't really go against because of the speed that he has and the ability to elevate like he does.
Meanwhile, Marcus Northern for three is short, and Burton a one-handed rebound. Stolen away, laid up, and a foul called on Durda, and that'll send Jason Dockery to the line where he's a 68% free throw shooter.
Yeah, Burton tried to go behind the back a little bit, lost the ball, didn't realize there was another guy behind him when he got caught in traffic.
You know, Al Rhodes talked in Keys to Win about being able to attack the pressure of Washington. The few times that Washington has applied pressure, Penn hasn't really been able to attack it very well.
No, I don't believe so either. I think that's one of the things. If Washington was able to get in a set where they're actually able to do some press, it might have an advantage for them, but they're not able to get into it.
Devin DeVries takes Stephen Reynolds' place in the lineup. As you look at Jason Dockery missing both free throws, the ball tipped out of bounds by Dominic Bonner, and Washington will get it back. Washington just 3 of 7 from the foul line here in the first half, so they have squandered some opportunities. Mookie Ward-Pouncey checks back in for Burton as they try to protect him for the final 29 seconds of the half. Northern to trigger the inbound. Nocentelli will chase it down in the backcourt. That's okay. It's perfectly legal. Nocentelli with the left hand. Looking for a cutter. There's Northern. You see the clock, right-hand corner of the Ontario Credit Union scoreboard. Northern short in the lane. We got the friendly roll. Marcus with 10. Penn will try to get one last shot. Joe Smith trying to draw a foul. Smith needs to hurry. Garwood lost the handle. slung it up there and it went in, but it will not count. And Craig Heatherly has lined up Al Rhodes and has him for a Bills Heating courtside report. Go.
Coach Rhodes, your evaluation here in the first half.
I thought we played okay. We missed too many layups in the first quarter, and our defense has been very good. Our rebounding has been good. So all in all, 13 points up. You can't be too unhappy.
All right, Coach, good luck in the second half.
Thank you, Craig. A reminder to stick around. We've got our Tony Letcher Health Market Student Athletes of the Week. Marcus Northern has 10, but the Marcus in this game that's scoring is Marcus Burton. He has 20 in the first half, and Penn leads 35-22 at the break on 46. It is halftime here at the Palace. Time to honor our Student Athletes of the Week, a feature brought to us by our friend Tony Letcher with Health Markets. A couple of 3-8 students from these two NIC schools. We've got Zach Brouillard from South Bend, Washington, Joe Smith from Penn. We always start with the visitors first. Zach is a 3-sport athlete at Washington, where he plays tennis, golf, and is on the swim team, and also this 3.8 grade point average. That's a challenge to balance all of that. How have you done it?
It's more so just balancing school, life, work balance. At school, do your schoolwork, study, do what you need to do. And while you're not working or practice, get that homework done, get that studying out of the way.
Washington High School is a medical magnet in the South Bend schools, and I know that was something that appealed to you and one of the reasons you chose to go to school there. What happens in that medical magnet program?
So it's a 4-year program, and your freshman, sophomore year, it's more research-based, learning what you want to do. Junior year, you start clinical rotations at the hospital, get to know what you want to do. And then senior year, you start internships, start applying to colleges, and they really help you get a college you want to get into.
To put all those values in you, you must have had a great support system. Who are the people that have helped you along the way?
Not only my family, but also supportive coaches and very supportive teammates throughout the 4 years I've been here.
Now you're planning on going to IUSB and studying nursing, but you're also planning on entering the National Guard. What appealed to you about those two things? Why that combo?
So I've come from a very military family. I've always wanted to join, but I also didn't want to go full-time, so I could be a college student full-time. With the National Guard, it's more part-time, and it pays for school all the way, and nursing school isn't cheap, so need to get it paid for somehow.
It'll take a while, but it'll be worth it, I'm sure. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
That's Zach Brouillard from South Bend, Washington High School. Over here, this is Joe Smith. Joe, you've already seen in the first half, a talented guard on this Penn team, but also doing a remarkable job in the classroom. I know that's something that Coach Rhodes emphasizes, but also you still have to be able to execute that. How do you balance all that out?
You know, I have a lot of goals, and it's just about, you know, knowing what I need to get done and getting those things done. So just scheduling the time to get them done and doing what I can to be the most successful.
You're the teammate of a guy that's up for Mr. Basketball, and yet you're a very good basketball player in your own right. What do you see as your role on this team?
Yeah, everybody needs to know their role. You know, my role on this team is to just do whatever the team needs, whether it's to play help defense, to get steals, to do the gritty little plays, to shoot when I need to, and to make plays when I need to.
You do more than help defense. You are a lockdown defender, my friend. I've seen you play, and of course you come from a talented family. Your sister was one of our student athletes. I imagine family means a lot to you, especially when I see you're involved in programs like FCA and DECA.
Yes, they are. My two sisters in college are doing great right now, and they're a great role model for me. And, you know, I have so much love and encouragement from my families, you know, getting text messages before every game. And I know my grandma's watching when she can, so it's great to have that support.
I did want to ask you about DECA, which is one of the activities that you do, and I know that you got a first place in a marketing presentation that you did. What appeals to you about that?
Yeah, I've always been interested in business and economics and that type of thing. And you know, I've known about the club for a couple of years, and I wanted to give it a try, and, you know, it's working out pretty good so far. You know, I got first place, and we're going down to Indy in a couple of weeks, and that'll be fun, too.
I don't know if we can get any breaking news with a college announcement tonight or not. Probably not, but what are you looking at doing in college?
I'm planning on studying economics and business. Still uncommitted, but, you know, trying to weigh my options and see what's best for me.
I'm sure you'll have plenty, and I'm sure you'll do well. Best of luck to you, Joe.
Thank you.
That's Joe Smith from Penn High School, Zach Brouillard from South Bend, Washington. Our Tony Letcher Health Market Student Athletes of the Week. Stick around. We've got halftime highlights and stats. You're watching the 46 High School Game of the Week. Halftime here at the Palace, 35-22 in favor of Penn. As we welcome you inside the Martin Supermarket broadcast booth, Chuck Ruby and Bo Hunt. high above the fray. Impressive first half for the Penn Kingsmen. Maybe a little sloppy at times, but everything else was A-okay.
Yeah, I mean, their speed, the way they're able to get to the rim, the way Burton's able to dish the ball for the three-pointers, the way they're able to knock them down. I thought their inside, they got in a little bit of foul trouble. They weren't as strong on the inside as they normally are, so we'll see if that adjustment happens in the second half.
Let's show you how it got to be this way inside the Palace tonight. Washington and Penn came out explosive. Joe Smith, the opening bucket for the Kingsmen, but back came Terrence Reed with an answer for Washington. They parried back and forth early on. Stephen Reynolds with a bucket there, but then Marcus Burton started to find the open man. Joey Garwood for three. One of 4 Penn three-pointers in the first quarter. Marcus Burton, 3 the old-fashioned way with the bucket and the bump right there. Marcus Northern, a strong first half for Washington, trying to keep them in it. But when Joe Smith buried that 3, it was a double-digit lead. Northern with the steal here and the layup. Penn did have 7 turnovers in the first half, and Northern had 10 points for the Panthers, but Marcus Burton had 20 for Penn as the Kingsmen really dominated the three-point shooting. That's the biggest difference in this one right now.
Yeah, when you look at that, I mean, the 4 three-pointers that Penn was able to knock down versus 0 versus Washington, I think that's one of the biggest things and one of the biggest areas for them. So when you look at that, and Burton, 20 points. I mean, Washington has 22, so.
Yeah, the theory we espoused was, well, maybe you let Burton get all of his and try to shut down everybody else. If you had shut down everybody else, you'd have the lead. It'd be 22-20. But the supporting cast of Penn, one of the reasons they have a 13-point lead here at the intermission. Stick around. We've got second half play-by-play from the Palace after this on 46. And this edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you in part by HealthLink, your community health center. Chuck Freeby, Bo Hump back with you inside the Palace. Penn is out on the court, ready to go. There's only 30 seconds left on the halftime clock, and the Washington Panthers just now emerging from the locker room and heading over to the bench. So not sure we'll get any halftime adjustments from Craig Heatherly here with the Bills hitting courtside report, but
yeah.
What do you expect to see from the Panthers?
Well, I think one of the things, Craig talked about it earlier, is just being more aggressive. They have to understand that this is a very physical game. It's going to be a very aggressive game, and have the confidence in yourself. I think they lack a little bit of that confidence coming into this game, that they have to be a little bit more aggressive, but under control as well.
I'm just going to play devil's advocate here for a minute.
Yeah.
And tell you that Washington probably feels like we did come out aggressive in the first half, and we were called for the bulk of the fouls early, which is why we had to back down on the aggression.
Yeah, I mean, you look at that a little bit, but a lot of times the team that's the more physical is one of those teams where you look at, and they're going to be called a little bit more for those fouls, so you got to understand that that's part of the game.
We're just about ready to start the third quarter. Craig, any thoughts on what Washington can do any differently?
They had some success in that second quarter of just driving the basketball to the rim, but it's the other end of the floor that's the most concerning as a coach. I think they've got to just identify, are they going to make Marcus Burton beat him from the outside, or are they going to allow him to continue to beat him from the outside and make plays for others?
Meanwhile, there seems to be a little bit of a problem at the scorers table. I know that Washington wears alternate uniforms, and maybe when the starters were turned in for the second half, certain people weren't put in the lineup correctly. I'm not sure. But I see Ryan Vargas shuffling people on and off as the official is over at the scorers table.
Well, while they're figuring that out, we'd like to thank Barnaby's Pizza in Mishawaka on Grape Road, Granger, and now the new Twin Branch location, where you'll always find delicious pizza in a relaxed family atmosphere. Order online at MishawakaBarnabys.com, and we'd like to thank the Barnaby's Pizza in Twin Branch for feeding the production crew with some great pizza.
35-22 in favor of Penn as we begin the third quarter here at the Palace. Stephen Reynolds with the ball, and he'll take the three but not make the three. The rebound to Josh Gatete, and the Kingsmen will take their time bringing it across as they've been able to run their offense pretty effectively despite a poor shooting night tonight. Durda set the screen. Getete way outside. They don't want that too often. Here's Burton working on Marcus Northern. With the left hand, the pull up from the baseline pure. That's 22 for Marcus.
Washington was trying to make him go to his left. And he's like, all right, I'll go to my left.
At the other hand, Nocentelli misses the layup, and Burton throws it away in transition, but it's knocked away by Jason Dodson. Wisconsin Clay having a good year under Doug Barnbrook. They had 95 the other night against
95.
Career Academy, and they beat Elkhart tonight 69-48.
They're putting up some offensive numbers as well.
10-8 on the year for the Colonials. Garwood for three. The iron unkind. Northern with numbers coming the other way. Stutter step couldn't hit, but the rebound by Reed is awry as well. Knocked out of bounds by Getete. Washington inbounds down 15. A little bit of frustration there on the face of Marcus Northern. Tyshawn Grundy over in the corner. Now Terrence Reed. Reynolds has not been able to heat up tonight. He only has 2 points. This one inside the arc also goes for 2. Reynolds, a freshman. At the other end, Durda caught everybody falling asleep and gets his first basket of the night.
Just great job of really looking up the court and seeing Durda down there.
And nobody for Washington was back guarding him. Northern with the pull-up that's short. Here comes Burton the other way. Like a bolt of lightning. Pull-up from 15. 24 for Marcus Burton, and a timeout call by Ryan Varga with 6 minutes to go in the third. Penn opens up a 41-24 lead on Washington on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you in part by Teachers Credit Union, TCU. Discover better banking at TCU. Let's ask tonight's TCU trivia question while we have a moment. And it's a pretty simple one, Bo. I want to know, back in the days before the three-point shot, who was St. Joe County's all-time leading scorer?
Well, we just saw Rod Creech earlier here tonight, but I'm not going to say it was Rod. And he was complaining that he didn't have the three-point shot back in the day.
He blames it on Dan Gunn.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll give you the answer right now. The answer is a guy by the name of Bruce Dayhuff that played at John Glenn. He had 1,902 points without a three-point shot.
That can happen. That can happen.
Not often.
Not often.
Which is why Marcus is third on the county list, and he needs actually 4 more points to pass Demezy Anderson. Here's Stephen Reynolds jackknifing for 2, but couldn't get it to go. And here comes Burton the other way. Has 24, looking for 3 here. Off the iron, and the rebound to Marcus Northern. Northern with the stutter step. Reynolds gets on the baseline, and the floater is good. 6 for the freshman. Washington, though, still down by 15.
I like how Reynolds come out here in the second half, even after he had a little bit of a rough first half, firing away.
Meanwhile, Garwood misses the wide open 3, but Durda the rebound. Thrown away by Smith. Here comes Terrence Reed. Missed, but Grundy is there for the putback, and Tyshawn has his first basket of the night. Burton. Blocking called on Terrence Reed. He's not enamored with the call.
Yeah, they're really trying to get Burton in foul trouble and really being aggressive. And he did get in front of him, but he was still moving his feet when he got in front of him and on that.
That's the first foul on Washington here in the second half. Penn is yet to be called for a foul. Garwood Shot faked, and then Northern knocked it out of bounds.
The Penn boosters root for the Kingsmen's success in this game and all season, supporting all Penn extracurricular activities. For a $10 donation, you too can show your Penn spirit. Last year, they raised over $59,000 for academic clubs and teams. Follow them on Facebook or go to pennboosters.org.
Durda is fouled by Stephen Reynolds, and Dylan Durda will go to the foul line where he's only a 58% free throw shooter. The free throw sponsored by Clover Machinery Movers. Third foul on Reynolds.
Reynolds with 3 now. Reed with 3.
Durda with 2 points tonight. The 6'8 senior averages 5 a game. He is the team leader in offensive rebounds, and he's had a few of those tonight.
Yeah, 51 on the year.
And a whistle and a timeout taken by Penn. It's sponsored by the Penn Boosters with 4:32 to go in the third quarter. Penn leads at 42-28 on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you in part by the electrical workers of Local 153, making our communities brighter since 1914. Oh, awfully tough to beat Penn in this facility. This factoid brought to us by Anderson, Agostino, and Keller. The Kingsmen have won 21 straight games at the Palace. It has now been over 2 years since Adams beat them here in 2021.
If you're looking to come out and watch a Penn victory, your student body, come out and support them when they're at home.
White out tonight for the student body. Marcus Northern in the lane. That rattles out. Rebound to Joe Smith, and Penn has numbers. Smith to Garwood for 3. Short, but guess who? Dylan Durda with another offensive rebound.
Just his knack of being in the right place and understanding the ball, the way it bounces off the rim, and get those offensive boards and get second chance points for his teammates.
He's had at least 3 offensive rebounds tonight. Burton gets loose on the wing. Reed guarding him. Burton spinning, winning. 1,948 career points for Marcus, 1 behind Demezy Anderson. Tyshawn Grundy with a little shake and bake. Burton nearly took it away. Instead, Reed drives in. Wild shot. Grundy couldn't tip it home. Smith up the court. There's Burton. Looking for number 2 in St. Joe County. Here you go. 28 for Marcus Burton. Garwood knocks it away. And it went off Reynolds. It'll be Penn ball. Washington going to the bench. Nocentelli will check in for Marcus Northern as the official Tim Mills tying his shoes down in front of the Washington bench and having a word with a couple of the Washington assistant coaches. I don't think it's necessarily Hallmark readings. Joe Smith with the dribble out front for Penn. Here's Burton. He's got 28. Make it 30.
His ability to hit that free throw extended shot when they stop him, when he doesn't go to the hole, is just amazing.
Craig Heatherly just shaking his head down on the baseline. We'll go to you in a moment here, Craig. I got to hear what you got to say. Terrence Reed outside to Reynolds. Reynolds trying to shed Garwood. Garwood staying right with him. Reynolds short. Rebound collected by Gatete, and a foul called on Tyshawn Grundy. Craig Heller, you got a front row seat down there. What are you seeing?
It's like I'm watching a video game right now. And this kid's rated 99. I mean, he plays so much bigger than his size. That's what impresses me the most. He uses his body so well. He seeks contact in the paint. He's a phenomenal player.
Timeout called by Washington. 2:28 to go in the third, and we'll keep it right here.
Klein Custom Homes in Michiana's premier home builder. Come visit one of our exclusive neighborhoods or let Klein Custom Homes build on your property anywhere in Michiana. For more info, visit us at KleinCustomHomes.com.
Reminder, we have more basketball tomorrow night on TV 46, or if you're watching this Saturday morning, tonight on TV 46. Saturday at 9, we'll show you Class 4A basketball regional from over at LaPorte. Valparaiso in its first regional since 2005. And the reward for Candy Wilson's team, the top-ranked team in Indiana and the 9th-ranked team in the nation, the South Bend Washington Panthers. You can see it on the live stream on the IHSA TV network at 2, or wait to watch it on TV 46 Saturday night at 9. And of course, Amaya Reynolds out for South Bend Washington, but they've got the Miss Basketball candidate Rashonda Jones is going to Purdue. They have Kira Reynolds, Monique Mitchell is a D1 product, Raya Wilson is a D1 product.
The talent that Coach Reynolds has over there and has developed, and the kids that have come through, this team's going to be amazing. I mean, they lose one of the best players, not only on their team, but in the state, and they're still going to be able to, compete at this level.
I'm anxious to see the freshman, though, from Valpo, Lillian Barnes.
Yeah.
She was named the Duneland Conference MVP today, so we'll see what she can bring to the table. Here, Penn is up by 20. Marcus Burton on the drive. Shed his man, whips the pass to Durda, wouldn't go, but he'll go to the line for 2.
Hardware Plus is a proud supporter of high school sports and has been Osceola's favorite local hardware store for nearly a century, featuring a wide selection of products and customer service experts. Hardware Plus, where service begins with the words, "How can I help you?" and a handshake.
Durda misses the free throw again. Dillon with a career-high 9 against Clay. And he has 4 here tonight.
Penn's free throws are brought to you by Clover Machinery Movers.
Tyshawn Grundy falls down, travel.
A lot of slipping going on out here. It looks, 2 guys getting up and down the floor. A lot of people in here, so it's very humid in here as well. A lot of heat coming off, so there's going to be a lot of sweat and moisture on the floor.
Burton ahead to Dylan Durda, to Joe Smith, to Garwood. That's how you break a press. 10 for Garwood, his 9th game in double figures this year.
Doesn't get much better than that when you break a press with not dribbling the ball.
Meanwhile, another Panther falls down, but the ball deflected out of bounds by Penn.
Clover Machinery Movers is proud to support the Kingsman Athletics for over 65 years. Clover Machinery Movers has been providing professional and reliable machinery moving. When you need your project done right, on time, and on budget, contact the experts at Clover Machinery Movers.
51-28 Penn, still a minute 44 to go, third quarter. Washington came in ranked number 5 in Class 3A, but they have had their hands more than full with Marcus Burton and the Kingsmen tonight, although Burton is called for the foul right here. That'll be the 3rd on Marcus. And it'll send Marcus Northern to the line looking for his first points of the second half.
They call that on Gatete.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I had marked it down as the 3rd on Burton as well until I looked up.
That seemed to be the guy in the area. Meanwhile, Northern knocks them both down. His free throw sponsored by Ivy Tech Community College at South Bend and Elkhart. 51-30 in favor of Penn.
Northern having a nice night tonight with 12 points, averages 16 on the season.
Marcus Burton, 11 games of 30 or more, and he also leads the team in assists. Gatete with his first basket of the night. Burton with 5 dimes now. Here's Northern misfiring on a 3. Gatete another rebound as the Panthers have been one and done most of the night. And now Burton hits turbo. 32. At the other end, the shot up and in by Terrence Reed. Reed now with 7. Ryan Varga wanted a foul call, didn't get it.
He definitely hit Turnbull. I can't stop laughing about that because that's exactly what happened when he went down that lane. It was just like Craig Heatherly said. It was like playing a video game, and it was. He hit the turbo button, and bam! 32 points on the night. We still have 1 quarter to play.
You see the clock, right-hand corner, the Intera Credit Union scoreboard. Remember, Burton's career high 44 came against St. Joe. And there he is. Tyshawn Grundy knocks it away. Panthers on the run. Grundy, nice feed to Marcus Northern, and Grundy will put it back in for 2. And the third quarter comes to an end. A third quarter dominated by Marcus Burton and the Penn Kingsmen. He had 12 of his 32 in the stanza. Penn leads it 55-34, headed to the fourth on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to us in part by the Indiana High School Athletic Association, partnering with TV 46 for over 30 years. Big crowd here at Penn. Big game by Marcus Burton. Craig Heatherly, you go ahead and let me take a sip of water here. You go ahead and fill me in with your wisdom on a courtside report here of what you've seen from Marcus.
Listen, this is just an announcement to everybody in the area. If you haven't been out here to see Marcus Burton play, you need to come and see him. He's special. And the game is so easy to him. And what I want the young kids at home and the kids that are here that are watching him, this stuff just doesn't happen. He spends so much time in the gym without any crowds around, without anybody observing, working hard at his craft to get to this level. And it's truly a treat. He's such a special player. Everybody needs to enjoy this kid.
But we saw Burton as a sophomore in the sectional championship game where he was much ballyhooed. He had a great week, and he had nothing in 3 quarters of a section championship. And I don't know a player that I've ever seen improve as much between his sophomore and senior year as Marcus Burton.
Yeah, and I remember talking to them right at the beginning of his junior year, and I saw him, and I was like, whoa. He put on a little bit of muscle, got a little bit bigger, and it was one of those things. I believe it was that performance that really got him to believe that he needed to put in that extra work. And there's all that talk.
Well, there's a technical foul now called on Terrence Reed. Tyshawn Grundy had been called for a physical foul. Terrence Reed then apparently said something that met with the displeasure of the official. He's called for a technical foul. And Ryan Varga is going to have him go take a seat and bring in a sub right now, as Jason Dockery will check back into the game, and Marcus Burton now gets a chance to pad the stats with technical free throws. And this is Money in the Bank, sponsored by Clover Machinery Movers. Burton, I'll go ahead and say it, he's perfect from the stripe tonight.
And you didn't jinx it. You had that much confidence in his
he's
stroke.
that good.
Floor Coverings International Michiana cheers for the Kingsmen. Whether you're looking for tile, carpet, hardware, luxury vinyl, they can help transform your home into your dream home. Visit michiana.floorcoveringsinternational.com.
34 points for Burton here, early stages of the fourth. He'll look to add 2 and does. 36. The hook shot by Northern won't go. It's out off Gatete. And Washington will get it back, trailing by 25.
Imagineering Finishing Technologies brand is globally known as the knowledge source for metal finishing, like the teams in this game. Imagineering is always working toward a great finish. IFT is proud to support all student athletes.
Dominic Bonner takes the place of Joey Garwood. Let's see if Joey's done for the night. 7:35 to go in this one, but a 25-point game. And you, quite frankly, wonder how much longer Burton will stay in there, although Washington will keep playing and very aggressive there with Tyshawn Grundy going to the hoop that time. Grundy now with 6. Burton behind the back for 3. Not that time. Battle for the loose ball, and it's off Gatete out of bounds. Good heads-up play by Dockery.
He can shoot it from all over the court and even the three-point range. And we've even seen him hit it from almost half course as sometimes. But that's, I think, one of the parts of his games that he's going to work on in the offseason as well as that three-pointer.
Meanwhile, at the other end, Steven Reynolds hits a three-pointer, his first of the night. He now has 9. And that's his 50th three-pointer of the year to lead all freshmen in the state of Indiana. Burton reverses, shoots, short. Here comes Northern the other way. Washington in a hurry. Northern travel.
He's been calling it all night, so he can't get upset on it. There's been a lot of travel calls, and they've been calling it and haven't been letting you get away with it.
Meanwhile, Washington applying full court pressure, down by 20. Panthers are not just going to sit here and be a punching bag. Burton drives, scores. 38 now for Burton.
What a great move by Burton going to the hoop. A little bit of leg spread on that one. Up and under. Hopefully we have an R&B Car Company replay of that. Just quick move, that quick step. Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's, I'm going to use an old reference here. It's a Linda Ronstadt basket. He blew by you right there. Here's Joe Smith. Google it, kids. Smith for 2. Yes, sir. Smith with 7 tonight. He averages about 10 a game. 63-39 in favor of the Kingsmen. Northern trying to size up Smith defensively and is fouled by Marcus Burton, we think.
Yep, last time we were sure. Hey, there they are. Then they call on Marcus, his 3rd.
Terrence Reed getting ready to check back into the game. And they'll bring him on in as he'll take the place of Tyshawn Grundy. Washington has a rugged schedule coming up. Oh, nice Euro step by Northern for the bucket of a bump. Northern now with 14 tonight, and he'll go to the line for free throw, sponsored by Ivy Tech Community College of South Bend and Elkhart. You'll get another look from R&B.
Yeah, just a great job by Northern. A little Euro step right to the hoop. Gatete picking up his 4th foul. Like Joey Garwood's going to come back in for Gatete.
Anyway, after tonight, next Friday, Washington has St. Joe. That's always a big rivalry game. Then they face #1 Northwood on a Saturday down at the Panther Pit. And they're going to add a game to their schedule. It was announced today that the Riley-Washington game won't be made up. And I believe it's Fort Wayne North that will supply the opponent for senior night at the Great Western Forum. We'll hear from Ryan Varga about that in a moment.
Yeah, it'll be interesting with Washington playing Northwood. Northwood just beat West Noble the other night. Now they're going to play Washington, another top 5 team in the state. Too bad we just couldn't get that Northwood-Marion matchup.
Well, that could be happening in the regional. But as Penn gets ready to go to the foul line for free throw, sponsored by Clover Machinery Movers, I talked to Ryan Varga before the game about his thoughts on the Riley-Washington game not being made up.
You know, it was unfortunate. It was nothing to do with Riley High School or Washington High School. It was with individuals that from the outside that had things made up that they were going to do. Like I said before, it didn't matter where it was going to happen. It just happened at Washington. As far as the makeup date, I know from Washington's end, my end, we wanted to play. I don't know if that was reciprocated from other parties, but, you know, we're going to have to do what we have to do and you know, hopefully move on from it.
Timeout called with 5:24 to go. And we'll take it as well. Penn leads at 65-44 on a 40-point night for Marcus Burton here on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you in part by St. Andrews Products, providing quality apparel to the PGA and to 46 Sports for over 30 years. Good crowd on hand here at the Palace tonight. Maybe not as big as the one we had 3 weeks ago for Marion, but still pretty darn good.
No, coming in tonight, we knew it probably wouldn't be quite the Marion Penn crowd, but pleasantly surprised how many people packed in here tonight to see these two teams go at it. Not just Marcus Burton, but all these teams. Stephen Reynolds, possibly we're seeing the guy that might overtake Marcus Burton by his senior year, becoming the all-time scoring leader. But it'd be fantastic tonight. Marcus Burton moved from 4th to 3rd to 2nd all-time, and he could get his career high tonight. He's only 5 points away from that.
Yeah, why don't you put some pressure on a freshman Reynolds? Meanwhile, you look down that Kingsman huddle. This factoid brought to us by Anderson, Agostino, and Keller. Here are the active win leaders right now in Indiana high school boys basketball. Al Rhodes, 3rd among coaches. J.R. Holmes, by the way, 894 wins. He's been at Bloomington South for 42 years. Now, the girls coach at Bloomington South been there for 24. So Bloomington South has not hired a new basketball coach this century. That's amazing.
That is amazing. Just the ability to sustain coaches for that long is great.
Garwood to Mookie Ward Pouncey. As Burton is not in there anymore. He's got his 40, and he may well be done. Durda goes up for 2. And Dylan Durda's had a nice night, 6 points and a bunch of rebounds. Although Burton is back at the scorer's table, we see. Stephen Reynolds, 4-2. Puts it in. He's got 11 tonight, 13th game in double figures this year.
The ability for Reynolds to make shots like that and take after and look at Burton. When you're playing against a guy as good as Burton and you know he's better than you, take what he does and adapt that to your game.
Well, and where I've seen Stephen make that adaptation tonight is he's passing up 3-pointers and he's going for 2s and making them. Dominic Bonner gets a 2 here for Penn. He has 4 points, and the official's timeout as Jason Dockery comes up with a gimpy ankle.
A new year means new beginnings, so isn't it time to work for a company where employees are the most valuable asset? Hey, well, now's your chance because Rushcore in Bristol is hiring. They have production positions available in a team-driven environment with excellent benefits that include medical, dental, and a 401k. To learn more about joining the Rushcore family, visit rushcore.com. That's RESCHCOR.com.
Marcus Northern working against Marcus Burton. Here's Tyshawn Grundy working his way underneath Bonner. Couldn't hit. Durda another rebound, and he's fouled by Marcus Northern, and he'll go to the line for one in the bonus.
Penn's second half free throws are brought to you by Clover Machinery Movers. I'd also like to thank Martin Supermarkets. Groceries to go annual subscriptions are now available. They're just $29.99 for the year. They get ad pricing, digital coupons, recipes directly from your account. Learn more at martinsgroceriestogo.com.
Dylan Durda couldn't hit the first, but Bonner the rebound, blocked by Reynolds. And here comes Marcus Northern for Washington. Pull-up jumper, short. Northern's rebound, too strong. And Mookie Ward Pouncey with a rebound for Penn. He comes on the run. Oh, nice one-hander by Mookie.
Great elevation by Mookie on that shot.
71-46 in favor of Penn. Reynolds fades and fires but couldn't hit. Burton the rebound. Burton going past Terrence Reed. Exploding! Marcus Burton now with 42. And watch this little effort. Switching hands, taking the contact, and getting the bucket of the bump.
Craig, reminds me of you, man. I met the guy guarding him.
I've got no word. I've got no word.
Well, Burton's got more than 1 point to make. He's got 43 of them here. One off of his career high. And he could have his career high, but he's fouled on the way up, and he'll have to get it at the line.
Well, that was the 5th on Reed. Little surprised he went to him like that and tried to foul him. Burton was calling for an intentional foul on that.
And could have had a case.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But as it is, 2-shot foul is called. Terrence Reed fouls out of this game with 7 points. And that is a career high for Marcus Burton.
44?
44. We joked before the game that he needed 75 to pass J.R. Konechny. If we played a 5th quarter, I wonder.
Perfect from the line tonight, I believe, as well.
Indeed. That's how you get new career highs.
That's how you get it. We talked about it all night. Got to be able to shoot that rock from the free throw line.
Craig can ask Marcus his evaluation of his performance, too. That'll be coming up on the post-game show. Nocentelli outside to Marcus Northern. Northern, the floater won't go. Here's Durda, another rebound. Here's Burton in transition. Why not? Nobody around here really knows the Penn single game record, but I'm going to say we've seen it tonight.
It's got to be pretty dang close to it.
47 for Burton. Grundy goes in.
And just get 50.
Well, he might be going for that right here.
Yeah.
But it looks like his night is done. Trey Miller comes in, and Marcus Burton leaves to a standing ovation.
You know, what a performance tonight. Just his ability to drive, his ability to pull up for the jumper, his ability to dish the ball, play defense, got a lot of rebounds, a lot of steals as well. 47 points and second in the career scoring column in the area.
The 47 puts him 27 behind J.R. Konechny. The tour goes to Plymouth on Tuesday night. And here's Eric Nocentelli going to the line for free throws, sponsored by Ivy Tech Community College in South Bend and Elkhart.
Don't forget their dual credit classes they offer. Great way for high school students to earn dual credits is through Ivy Tech Community College. Big thank you to Barnaby's Pizza, man. Great food every time we come here with Barnaby's. Pepperoni and sausage. Love the middle pieces myself.
Ample portions, too.
Yep.
The rebound taken down by Maverick Brown, who has checked into the game. We also have Nolan McCullough in the game now. The 6'2 junior wears number 25. By the way, if you're thinking, well, yeah, it's Burton's senior year as Pouncey misses in the rebound to Northern. It's Burton's senior year. Penn's going to go downhill. The JV finished with just 1 loss. The freshman went undefeated.
Well, and you got a bunch of juniors that are coming off the bench that would be starters on other teams. I mean, Bonner and Miller are just great studs. You got Mookie Pouncey, or he's a senior as well.
Miller just got a bucket and a bump, but
yeah.
We were at a game against Marion where he had 11. He had 12 against Adams on Tuesday night. He's looking for his 3rd point of the night here on a free throw sponsored by Clover Machinery Movers. And Washington will start to empty the bench as well as Jarrell Ritchie and Jarrell Williams check in. But Al Rhodes and the Kingsmen, who came into this one averaging 76 points a game, the state's leading scoring offense, surges over 80 tonight. And you wonder who's going to derail this Express.
Well, and that's one of the things, too, being one of the leading scoring teams in the state. You would think they're more of a fast break team. They're not. They set up a half-court offense. They run a great half-court set. If they want to get up and down, they can a little bit, but they don't get out of control.
Here's Reynolds missing a 3, and the rebound collected by Mookie Ward Pouncey. Now they'll run here, and McCullough with a great catch. They whip it around to Pouncey for 3. Mookie Ward Pouncey with the 3, sponsored by Hardware Plus. The 3 answer by Washington goes awry. Trey Miller with the rebound as Jarrell Williams was unable to hit. And we hit 1 minute left in this one. And the Penn Kingsmen will clinch a share of the Northern Indiana Conference Championship tonight. as they knock off Washington here. The rebound taken in by Jarrell Williams. Reynolds falls down, and the ball collected by Ward Pouncey. Maverick Brown in strong, and it's erased by Jarrell Ritchie.
It's like Reynolds was cramping up down there when he slipped. He's still down at the other end.
Trainer's going down to take a look at him.
He was pulling his foot back, so I'd have to believe that it's a cramp. Yeah, you can see right here, trying to stretch out that leg a little bit. Looks like he's cramping up right there in the calf, trying to rub it out.
And they can't play because he is out there on the floor. So Trisha Irvin, longtime trainer here at Penn, out working on him. Steve Reynolds, his dad, the girls' basketball coach, down by him as well, getting him a little Gatorade. And they're pushing him back off the floor so they can finish up the final 36 seconds of this one.
Yeah, it looks like they do have him off the black, which is far enough away, and then get this back started up.
Mookie Ward Pouncey for three. The rebound to Nolan McCullough, and he was undercut by Devin DeVries. And McCullough, the quarterback from the football team, will go to the line, trying to improve on his 25% free throw percentage.
He'll get two. If he knocks down one or two, he'll raise that 25% free throw percentage.
Free throw sponsored by Clover Machinery Movers. We saw Corey Yeoman here tonight in good spirits. Why wouldn't you be if you got this young man coming back at quarterback? He had a terrific season for Penn last year.
Yeah, nice 6'2" frame, solid body.
Yeah, one thing we noticed watching the JV game tonight, there's an ample strength and conditioning program here at Penn.
Yeah, they definitely have some size, and a lot of it is just their physique, ability to be strong on the inside because of the weights that they lift.
That should do it from the Palace tonight, as the Kingsman fans come to their feet to salute their heroes. Penn still perfect in the NIC at 10-0. They raised their record to 19-1. They get a career high 47 from Marcus Burton and beat number 5 South Bend, Washington by a count of 85-51. Stick around, plenty to talk about on the St. Joe County Police Department postgame show. We'll chat with our player of the game. Wonder who that could be, and show our electrifying play of the game. It's all next on 46.
Thanks for watching the WHME TV 46 High School Basketball Game of the Week, brought to you by
The Palace still buzzing, and why not? They have seen their Penn Kingsmen claim at least a share of the NIC title tonight with an 85-51 win over a South Bend, Washington team that was ranked number 5 in Class 3A. Welcome inside the Martin Supermarket broadcast booth. Chuck Freeby and Bo Hunt high above the frame, looking at the stat sheet here on Marcus Burton. We know the career high 47. 17 of 26 from the field, only 1 of 4 from three-point range, 12 of 12 from the foul line, 9 rebounds, 5 dimes. He did have 8 turnovers, so okay, there's something to work on.
Well, you have to have something to eat, right, on the turnovers. But no, just a great job by Burton. Just his ability to dish the ball, use his teammates, but take over games as well. It just was a difference in this game, his ability to take it over.
Unbelievable. Career high 47. Easiest choice we've had in a long time for player of the game. He's standing by now with Craig Heatherly.
All right, we are here with the player of the game, Marcus Burton. You scored 47 points tonight. You are officially the number 2 all-time leading scorer in St. Joe County history. You get the other team's best defender. You get the other coach's best game plan, and you're never rattled. How do you do it?
Honestly, I just play my game, stay patient. Before the game, Coach Rose told me to just play, be me, play patient, just do what I do. And I came out here and did what I did, and I got the job done.
You guys have won 22 straight here tonight. You do a lot for this team. You don't do it all. Tell us about the role that your teammates play in your guys' team success?
We have a great team, man. They love me. They let me do what I do when I'm hot, and I love them. And without them, I don't know where I'd be at, man. That's a great team. I love them to death, and they help me out with scoring, and I help them out. And I wouldn't ask for a better team than that.
It's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog. You got a ton of fight. Where does that come from?
Just growing up fighting, man. I used to always play my dad 1v1. He used to beat me. I used to cry. But now he can't beat me now. But I feel like my dad put the dog in me.
Marcus, you're an incredible player, phenomenal competitor. Good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, back to you, Chuck.
He's clever on the court and off. He gets the jab in on Dad, but then says, oh, Dad put the dog in me. Gives him a little something at the end.
Yeah, I mean, great credit to his dad. You know, as a dad myself, you know, you got to give him some confidence. So you let him win some games. So,
I see.
You know, shout out to the dad as well, you know.
Well, I'll tell you what, we had a catalog of plays that we could have chosen as our electrifying play of the game. But Burton gave us one in the fourth quarter where he hit that turbo button and then used his body to absorb the contact.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things all night, his ability to absorb contact and initiate the contact as well and understand it, explode to the hoop, get the bucket and a bump, able to finish on the bucket and a bump, I think is the biggest thing. And the biggest thing in his game as well is finish those shots.
So now Marcus Burton just behind J.R. Konechny for first place on the all-time St. Joe County scoring list. Could get it as soon as Tuesday night in Plymouth. If he doesn't get it there, he'll almost certainly get it at Northside Gym in Elkhart, where so many records have been broken. But overall, this Penn team, very impressive.
Yeah, from top to bottom, just people talk about their offense. They have so many offensive weapons. I love their defense. I love the way they get at it. I love the way they defend and the size that they have inside to defend as well.
And here's the good news for Washington. You're not going to face anybody like Burton in the 3A tournament. So you almost throw this one away, and you use these games coming up with St. Joe and Northwood to get ready for your section.
Well, I think that's the biggest thing. Yeah, St. Joe and Northwood, two quality teams that are going to give them some competition, great competition, especially out in Northwood, to prepare them for that Marion sectional.
So our thanks to our TV46 crew in the middle of a busy weekend for setting up for this one. Dean Korsmo, our production manager, turned it over to Killer Kowalski, and we had the birthday boy Tony Beltran pushing all the buttons. A reminder, girls basketball on TV46 Saturday, live stream from Laborde on IHSA TV at 2, and you'll see it at 9 as Valparaiso takes on the top-ranked South Bend, Washington Lady Panthers. And don't forget, college basketball on the radio Saturday night as the Indiana Hoosiers go on up to Ann Arbor to take on the Michigan Wolverines. Reminder to follow us on social media for all the updates on high school tournament action. Now, for the Hall of Famer Bo Hunt and Mishawaka's own Craig Heatherly, it's Chuck Freeby. Once again, the final, Penn 85, Washington 51. So long from the Princess City.